You're going to use Illustrator to create the document with the fonts that you chose, using the words to represent the fonts to help show the meaning of the symbolic of the word. You have Illustrator on your, this is called your doc, but my color is a little different. Yours is orange and it looks like a book. Same program. So this is kind of what you'll end up with the end product. But I'm going to show you how to do this from the beginning. When you open up your Illustrator, it's probably going to look like this. And a lot of people are like, there's nothing there. But there is, because you can see that it says Illustrator right here. So what you want to do is you want to open File, New. Here, where it says name, you're going to put your last name, underscore type, underscore move. This might already say letter, it might not. You can put it to letter and make sure that this says inches, make sure that it's portrait, and click OK. And here you have what's called the artboard. Mine's dark gray behind, and all of this is dark gray. Yours will be white. It's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. And your backdrop to the program is just a lighter gray. But the artboard you can tell is because it has the black square around it. So one thing that kind of helps me, because we're going to be spacing out these words evenly, is to turn on the grid. So you select View, Show Grid. And then you can see each one of these lines is 1 inch. So there's 11 boxes by 8.5 boxes. The two tools that you're going to be using, this is called the selection tool and the type tool. You're going to be clicking back and forth between these often. Every time you type a word, you're going to click the type tool, you're going to click, you're going to type your word. So one that we had yesterday was bright in one of my classes. You're going to click the selection arrow right away, and you're going to see this bounding box. Now it's small and you want it bigger, so you click, and one thing you have to do is hold shift to make it bigger. You just drag it bigger. If you do not hold shift and you go like this, I'm going to know. And towards, in the next couple weeks, if you change, it's called the constraints of a font, you will get an automatic C on your work. Because the fonts are made, just like that video had said, to be certain height and width. We're going to leave it at that. So you might want to know, did I accidentally not press shift? So as long as you have this bounding box, and the only way to get it is to make sure you select this with the black arrow, up here in your bar it's going to say character, and this is where you can change the font. You can click on character and you can see all of these things, but what I'm looking for is that this one says 100%, and see that you can't probably read it in the back, but it says 274. That one needs to say 100%. I can enlarge it with fonts here, or I can click and hold shift to make it bigger. Now yesterday for this I downloaded a font called Bright Lights, and so maybe I want to be able to click and find it. Something fortunate for this newer program is it has the sample of what the font looks like there, and yours doesn't. But since you wrote down the names of the font, you can still click on here and just start typing. So I'm going to start typing bright. So here's, and it'll go to your bright lights. So I'm going to do bright lights bold. Now if we think about the kerning of this word, to me there is one letter that should probably be kerned, and which one does it look like? Which one? Well, the H and the T. The T looks too far to the right. So I'm going to double click because it's going to get my cursor where I need it to be flashing. I'm going to hold down Option and I'm going to arrow in. And then I can take Option off and arrow to my other letters, and maybe I come in a little bit on the G. Let's maybe like that, maybe a little bit. That looks pretty good. Now I want to be able to see my whole artboard again. I enlarged that really big. There's two ways. You can click here and go to 100%. And even if you still want to see your whole artboard again, you can actually go down a little bit lower, or you can do View, Fit Artboard in Window. Now to get my next word, I'm just going to click. I'm going to do the Type tool again. I'm going to click my word, or click to make my word, and I'm going to say creative. I think that, let's find, I had one. So make sure that there's a lot of Asian fonts down here. I wouldn't use any of these. These are for just different countries and different languages. There's some Arabic. Make sure you're staying in, there will be a line within that top line of fonts. That would have been good for bright also. Oh, this one was for fire. We can change that. So I can double click, highlight, and type fire. Selection tool again, enlarge. Maybe I want to make the R a little bit closer. Hold Option, arrow in. I'm going to do this for 6 words. I also want to talk about the size of the words, so they don't all have to be the same size. For example, quiet, to help show what the word means even more, you could use a small font, because that's going to help explain quiet even better. Let's see, aggressive. And maybe aggressive is all uppercase, because that's going to show that it's more aggressive. I think another word was for one of the colors. So make sure, my words aren't necessarily representative of the colors of the rainbow right now, but make sure that yours say red, or in order for red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So you're going to go on, you're going to end up with 6 words. I'm going to just keep this now so we can move forward. What I want you to do is I want you to move the bottom word an inch from the bottom and the top word an inch from the top. Then you're going to click and drag. You're going to do window, and you're going to turn on a line. You want to have a check mark by the align. If there's already a check mark there, you can just turn it off so that it'll pop back up for you. There's 3 ways, but we work with 2 ways to align things, to selection or to artboard. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to center all the words on the artboard. So I'm going to click artboard, and right here I'm going to center it. And then now I want to center everything to the selection and just to distribute it. Because if I do it to the artboard, it's going to put that right on the top and potentially that too close to the bottom. I want to make sure that this one stays right there and this one stays right there. And so I'm going to click to selection, and I'm going to try to see which ones of these distribute. So that did not work, which is fine, and then I'm going to show you why. And this is why we have the grid. Notice bold goes all the way down to here. So it's centering everything around the bounding box, not around the actual font. So what you can, the reason we have the grid now, is you can kind of spread these out evenly. One trick could be is to center to artboard this way and this way, the middle word, or the middle 2 words, and then kind of eyeball it. So this is going to show, you have to use your visual weight to get them centered on the board. Then what you can do is you're going to type you'll save it, file save, make sure you put it in your data drive. A lot of times it's going to look like this. and you're not going to be able to get to your folder or find it easily. So you can click this open. You're going to click your data. You're going to click your name, and you're going to save it into there. Yeah? Then you're going to type your name small. You can just do Cora Volkov, you do your name, or you can even be your last initial. You can put a /2. I don't need a period. I know that that's what it means. And then you're going to just put it in a plain font. Super small. In the bottom corner. Don't go too low, and I'm going to show you why. So when you do File, Print, you can see this dotted line here. You got to make sure all your text is above that dotted line, otherwise the printer won't print it. So that's like your print area. And then you're going to, it'll default to the one that you are using. You don't have to change anything up here, and then you just print, and then you are done.